What's up, Juventini? Alberto here, and we've got a ton to tackle today. A new name for the target list arises, and apparently Juve has made an initial offer for a 17-year-old. We will take a look at that. Max Allegri is going for a contract extension with Juventus. We're going to take a look at the details there, and a possible Lord Bernardeschi return. We're going to take a look at that as well, and of course, Monza tomorrow, all right, who had our number last season. We're going to take a look at Max Allegri's presser heading into that one, and the projected lineup. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. This is the AJC. Let's rock. Let's get into it, everybody. So, apparently, as far as targets go for Juventus, with the latest injury to Rodrigo Bentancur, Højbjerg will not be leaving Tottenham in the winter mercado. For me, this is not a problem, not an issue, and I'm fine with it because he was one that I didn't really care about whatsoever when we were linked to. So, I have no problems with this. Okay, as far as another potential target, well, according to Di Marzio, Juventus has put in an initial offer for Vasily Adzic, a 17-year-old Montenegrin. The initial offer is of 2.5 to 3 million euros, and this is going to be an interesting one to see if it actually does pan out and if it is in fact true. This player can play left wing, can play advancing midfield, and even out of the midfield. So very much right now a utility piece, but some high potential there. It's going to be interesting to see if there's any truth to this one as it gets a little bit further on and closer to this winter mercado. As far as another target, well, Copenhagen's Rooney Bargi was scouted by Juventus during their Champions League match against Bayern Munich this week. He is also being looked at by 5 other Italian clubs, apparently. He has a very low evaluation of around 4 million euros. So again, just another name to keep tabs on that we will have to continue looking at, okay? In terms of another potential return, well, we know Douglas Costa was trying everything possible, even throwing out the fact he'd play for the minimum salary to come back to Juventus. Well, Lord Bernardeschi is vying for his return as well. We saw earlier in the week he was at Continassa. He was saying hello to players. He was saying hello to Max Allegri. The current reports suggest that he is vying for this return. He wants the return. We saw the video with the fans as he was signing autographs and was asked, "Are you returning in January?" And his response was, "I hope so." Look, we all know he wants to return. What's interesting here is we haven't really heard a lot about where Juve stands on the Bernardeschi return. We heard and found out very quickly from credible sources where they stood on Douglas Costa and not wanting that return. But this one hasn't been dismissed immediately, and he could be seen as that utility piece, as he can play really anywhere like we did use him everywhere, including the midfield, the wings. It's going to be interesting. I wouldn't rule this one out immediately, but I still say high doubts on the return. And if you ask me my 2 cents on it, I wouldn't go for the return of Bernardeschi at Juventus. That's just me. You guys know the drill. Weigh in on the comments. Now we get to the FIFA Club World Cup. We are all going to have eyes on this thing in December. It debuts in June of 2025, but in December the final rankings come out. Right now Inter is safe on their point totals, both with FIFA ranking and UEFA ranking. During this time right now and waiting for those final rankings in December, Juve is in the lead over Milan and Napoli, okay? Albeit a tight one, both on FIFA rankings and UEFA rankings. In December, we're going to get the final ruling and find out who in fact gets that second spot. This is something I know for a fact is massive for Juventus, and they definitely want to be a part of this Club World Cup for the exposure, for the resources, everything. So this is going to be something to definitely keep tabs on, all right? Now, as far as Chiesa's contract extension goes, apparently the latest reports suggest it is going to be a 1-year contract extension. They are going to boost his salary a little bit, but it's more of a promise of a long-term contract based on performances. So this is a very interesting one to take, especially with some of the other contract extensions going on, that you're going to play this kind of angle with Chiesa and say, well, your performances have to be up. I still believe that there's some doubts there, maybe in regards of health or something, but we're not getting the full story here. I feel with this Chiesa contract extension, it's still not making sense, and even this doesn't make sense with promise of a long-term contract if your performances keep up. It's a strange one, this Chiesa contract, but we'll follow it as we move on. Now, as far as Allegri goes, it's funny. I told you all yesterday that there's going to be a media game going on, and it's not all just created randomly or out of the blue. And even Allegri has friends out there that are tied with media that can try and paint a better picture for him. And I told you that yesterday, and today Nico Schira kind of says the exact same thing, stating that after the Conte self-candidacy rumors and all this news and everything was put out purposely by friends of Max in the media, talking about a leave and walking away to try and strike up contract negotiation discussions with Juventus. He wants to remain at Juventus. Nico Schira says he wants the contract extension, and this is why you started hearing rumors about him leaving. Schira says he has zero intentions of going abroad. Never has, and doesn't at this point in time either. So Max Allegri vying for the contract extension at Juventus. Of course, time will tell what's going to happen. And I couldn't say it any more clearly than I did yesterday, and I also tweeted it out. But for me, at this point in time, Juventus is in the middle of a Scudetto hunt, and they're playing well. They're finding results. We may not like the style, but it is getting the job done so far. Right now, he has my full backing, okay? I will back Max until the bitter end. At season's end, let's see what happens. Let's see what develops and what presents itself. But right now, all of our focuses should just be on the squad, supporting them, and seeing what happens this season, because we could do this and we could get this done. And I believe if we play our cards right in the winter mercado, we can have a massive, massive finish to the season. Fingers crossed. But first up, tomorrow, Monza. And Monza had our number last season, all right, being led by Palladino, who's been doing a great job there. We got Max Allegri's press conference, and he has this to say: Danilo and Sandro are available, all right? Albeit neither of them are 100%, but they will be available. Locatelli will be evaluated today. He did help us out off the bench, according to Max Allegri, but it's more likely that he's going to be starting than not in this one, all right? He said as far as Chiesa and Vlahovic, they did well against the Inter on Sunday, but we might rotate as we got to get Keane scoring, and it is crucial to get him scoring. And he did say there are going to be moments through this season where some play more than others, probably kind of going at the fact that it's going to be about form and what kind of form you're in going into this game. But for me, I expect Chiesa and Vlahovic. As far as the performance goes, he says tomorrow we will play the same we have in the opening 13 matches. We are going to respect our opponent, and we are going to have a strong and good overall performance. As far as your projected lineup, it is as follows: Szczesny, Gatti, Bremer, Rugani, Cambiaso, McKennie, Locatelli, Rabiot, Kostic, Chiesa, and Vlahovic. For me, I would break up that middle, give it a little more variance. I don't think you need to be so robust with Monza. Put McKennie as your right wing back, slap Moretti in there, and I'm fine with this midfield going into this game. That's how I feel about it, but you guys know the drill. I want to hear from you. Do not forget, tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time, we're going to get you live, hyped up for this game, and then I'm going to bring you the live watch-along for the match. Till then, drop your thoughts in the comments section, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Fino alla fine, Forza Juve, Monza tomorrow, everybody. How you feeling?